Big voice. KWTN 100.9 FM. Nebraska. The official radio station of the Winnebago Tribe.
KWTN 100.9 FM. Welcome everybody to Winnebago Talks on a beautiful Tuesday. I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night for those people that are overseas. Hey, we have an excellent episode for you guys and beautiful weather out there. We have the Winnebago Indian news. We also have some special guests that are going to be joining us, and I'd like to welcome in our co-host with the mostest. Go and say hello to the good folks out there.
Hello, everybody. I am DJ Bethani Redhorn, the Winnebago Communications Office Manager.
And then we also have our Win editor. Go ahead and say what's up.
Good morning, everyone. Brian Chamberlain, editor for the Winnebago Indian News.
And last but not least, we have the Win office manager.
Good morning, everyone.
All right, Tyler Snake in the house here. So you guys just came out with a new issue here. We're going to go over some bagel bits, and we're going to be talking about some of the things that we featured in this last recent issue. I just want to make mention, if you have an opportunity, check out the review. I finally got it done.
Yes.
The concert review of Jelly Roll. If there's just any Jelly Roll fans out there, check it on out, man. You'd be surprised that, that concert, I didn't know any Jelly Roll song except that one. Somebody's there, whatever.
Some good karaoke there.
But nonetheless, here, Winnebago in the news. What you got for us?
Go ahead, Tyler. You want to start off?
Yes. So I read the bagel bits, and I just kind of talk about any events or whatever's going on around Winnebago. Recently, they came out with the construction project of building parks in Winnebago. So that'll be pretty exciting. They're going to be located at the 12plex. That's kind of out by the BIA.
Oh, okay.
In Ho Chunk Village 2.0 on Fish Street, I believe. And then the third one is out by the Kelly Pond.
Oh, nice.
So
That
all
is
good
cool.
locations for, the neighborhoods, and kids can play.
So I have a question, and you probably don't know the answer and stuff, but this is the kind of internal discussion. Okay, do you remember when playground equipment was dangerous?
Yeah.
Now it's kind of
Still is.
Is it still? Okay, so back in my days, we had this whole set of tires, right? And I don't know if it was sanitary or whatever, but after it would rain, and then people would, use your imagination.
It was not, because I witnessed kids doing things that should not be done to a tire.
But it was kind of cool. And then what was some other ones that they man, the one, okay, well, I don't know what it is called. What is that called?
Teeter-totter?
Teeter-totter.
Oh man, do you guys remember doing that? Like jumping off, and the guy would just just go flying.
Well,
The entire campus of Winnebago High School, Winnebago Public School, has changed over the years because the area abutting Highway 77 was the entire playground. And of course, they had a huge slab, outdoor basketball court, all that kind of stuff. And in my day, of course, this is going to be a shout out to the Gen X kids. You guys all know about this. The elementary school playground, which was now where the kind of the elementary area of the building is. That playground, you want to talk about dangerous. It had the small merry-go-round on there, and me and my classmates, as well as the other kids from the other classes, and typically the older ones, would be spinning that thing so fast. It's a wonder no one seriously got hurt.
Right, right.
Yeah. Oh, they flew off, and I was one of them. But thankfully,
Got back on.
I remember being little
know we
and seeing
did.
those pictures, and I was like, how come they got a merry-go-round? How come we didn't get one? Just wishing for it.
I know.
Everybody would go flying
You know,
out.
and we're little kids and stuff, and of course there's a big difference between a 6th grader and a 2nd grader, and of course the 6th graders, they're getting bigger and stuff. They would have it, and it would go so fast that the kids would be holding on to the bars and their legs were flying out. It was that
Holding on for
fast.
dear life.
Yes, and then that's where, kids went
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teachers are just watching.
Yeah, exactly. Smoking a cigarette too, and it's like, hey, you gotta love Gen X. We did it all.
We grew up in that generation of go do it again. I didn't see it the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you jump back on.
Yes.
So some playground equipment is coming, and looking forward to. So they broke ground on that. They're not
Yes.
built just now, but that's forthcoming, and a lot of progress. So we have our weekly construction progress. If you have an opportunity, go through the Winnebago Winnebago Tribes government page, and you'll see that we post the project of the week, and we've been doing that for the last 9 weeks, I think I want to say.
There's a lot of them.
And there's a lot going on and stuff too. So what else you got?
I'll tease one more. I want you guys to read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of talked about the WPS Academy program attending the Nebraska Breakfast in Washington, D.C. Pretty exciting, they get to go out to the world and see what it has to offer and, hopefully inspire them.
Yeah.
Because I do know they graduate with an associate's degree.
Oh, okay.
Or some college credits from
Really?
Little Priest, so
Wow.
just all good things for that program.
Yeah, and in fact, we're talking about construction and progress and people getting their education. That's when all these buildings are going to have to be staffed. We're going to need managers for them, and then those people making that trip out there to talk to Congress people, senators, whoever it may be, staffers. That's very important because that's part of making sure that your tribe progresses and stuff. So high school students went out there. I hope they had a great experience. That is definitely. I remember when the council chambers were back in. Brian, you were probably on the council then, but they would come in and they would present. And we would help them, or the council would help them, like either buy luggage, so that they can go on these trips and stuff.
Different things as well.
Yeah.
Partial sponsorship of the trips themselves and various iterations. I mean, it came around in a lot of different ways. So
For sure. All good. Alrighty. So anything else?
No, but I'll be sneaking out to the Land and Wellness
Oh,
walk.
that's right.
The child abuse walk. I'm not certain on who's putting it on. I thought it was WCHS.
I think they might even. There's a couple walks that are coming up. I still have to. Yeah, there's a lot of events happening, but this one here.
it might be the court because Angie was involved. So
Is it
Okay.
the Preserving Native Families?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flyer, but
Human services and stuff. As you know, April is Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. I think I said that right. But we'll get them up here to talk about a little bit more about in depth on some of the things. And it's very exciting. I think that the weather has changed and it was postponed. It was supposed to happen last week, but we had some
passing.
Yeah, some passings, so they got rescheduled to today. But nonetheless, if you have an opportunity, go out there. It's always good to walk. Releases endorphins, healthy.
Helps
all
you
that.
maintain your muscle mass.
And I want to say that on the flyer, it said T-shirt and light refreshments while supplies last.
11 to 2 p.m.
Okay, at the Land of Wellness.
Yep.
Yes, Land of Wellness. Get on out there.
See me there, speed walking.
All right, thanks, Tyler.
See you guys.
Yes, also the other parts of the Winnebago Indian News, it is currently posted, of course, online via our social media as well as linked to the Winnebago Tribe's website. You can always go to WinnebagoTribe.com and view all of the current issue as well as the previous issues which are archived there on the News and Media tab. But with the Winnebago Indian News, of course, on our social media over the weekend, we debuted the countdown to the 159th annual homecoming celebration, the oldest powwow in North America. The countdown began as of Saturday, I believe, and don't quote me on this because I'm trying to remember the graphic, but there are just over 3.5 months left. There's over 100 actual calendar days and 7 tribal paydays. And people in the beginning, they made fun of that. Gee, why you got to say that? And said some people do like to budget their money.
Right.
Oh, yes.
And start to put together, because powwow can be expensive, especially if you're creating regalia, etc. But the 159th annual homecoming celebration countdown is begun.
So should we get into our discussion about powwows?
Yeah.
We had a representative from University of South Dakota, and they had their powwow celebration in Vermilion this past weekend.
Yep.
Looked awesome. I think that they did a great job, and congratulations to that student organization. There's a powwow in University of Nebraska, Omaha, UNO, that's happening this weekend at the SAP House Field House. Now it's not 2 days like University of South Dakota's. It's just a 1 day, almost like a one session. I believe they're going to got to be out of there by 8 or something. But if you have an opportunity, come on down, free admission. I know that some people kind of do the trail, so we even kind of have our little trail going on here around the area. University of South Dakota, and then we have UNO. Then after that, there's another celebration that's going to be taking place. I think graduation celebrations are going to be happening around the area, so very exciting. But we do have some information. I know Cornelius Levering, the UNO powwow coordinator, came up, talked to us, and I think we'll get maybe a couple reels about if some people have some questions and stuff. But I'll be down there serving as master of ceremony. So if you have an opportunity, come on down. And I believe we're sharing the flyer now. So go for it.
So we have Saturday, April 19th, hosted by SLII and Intertribal Student Council. The event is free and open to the public. So you heard that, free 99.
There you go.
Art, dance, and food. So invocation will start at 12:40 p.m., grand entry at 1 p.m. MCs, Garan, Coons, Eddie Z, the urban MC. We also have some dance categories, and then headman special, head lady special. Some really awesome specials are announced there on the flyer with dance and drum registration information. But let's see here, if you have any questions, we do have those reels that we'll be posting as well. Cornelius talked about the he kind of shared some background too of how it came about, how he got interested in joining and things like that. So they have their Facebook page, UNO's Intertribal Student Council. They're pretty frequent on their social media. Sorry. Hello.
No, you good. You good. Do you have? I'm just messing with the audio levels and stuff. You're a little hot. That's. I'll just turn it down.
Okay.
So you're still good.
But they have their UNO Intertribal Student Council page with a lot of that information, and they're pretty frequent on their social media, so I'm sure if you reached out to them on there as well, they would get back to you.
For sure. There you have it. I think they were talking about, Brian, you know, our parents, our grandparents were a part of a generation that there was I want to say it was an act of 1956 or something, but it was called relocation.
Sure.
Where they would get reservation natives, and they would take them out, and they would almost like, I don't want to say bribe them, but entice them to come on out. They would learn
incentivize.
Incentivize their relocation off the reservation to urban settings.
Yes.
So they had one in like LA, they had one in Salt Lake City, they had one in Minneapolis, and that's where like a lot of the people got together. So there was almost like a row of natives living on a certain block and stuff. Anyways, the government wanted to have them, you know, it's almost like trying to wash their hands of natives with the hopes that they would lose, you know, some of they would learn their culture, they could make a living and everything. There was opportunities in a big setting and everything. So on paper, it looked good. Yeah. But I mean, really in the background of all this and stuff, you know, they had that in the plan. Anyways, the theme this year is about natives that are kind of in that realm. And being an urban native is way different from being on the reservation. And there's certain things, you know, there's certain aspects. There's probably different opportunities, economic, jobs, all that stuff that are in urban settings. But I don't like it when there's like, man, that's an urban native, or that's a res
like
native.
Singling it out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we're all native guys. So, and I think that it's good that we make awareness of that. And it's good that the theme of that, because we have doctors that work at the university settings and things like that. So, very interesting. You'll learn more about that if you come down to UNO.
Yes, and there's a lot of stuff to, I guess, research with that as well, because previously, you guys will remember last year when we debuted our storyteller section for the Winnebago Indian News, our first storyteller was, of course, the one and only Ruby Ballinger. Ruby lived in one of those relocation cities, and so she was in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, told part of the story related to that in the Storytellers. Of course, that was last year, and you can still see those stories in the archived version that are online, WinnebagoTribe.com, and you can get all of that information. But that is very much true, because relocation, it happened in a really weird kind of way. You know, the reservations were not necessarily economic hubs of activity, very, very agrarian, you know, very rural areas. There wasn't a lot of opportunities and stuff like that, so you understood why people took the opportunity, because there kind of was not a whole lot going on.
Right.
And then, of course, the proverbial legendary stories like Minneapolis, and one tribe in particular soliciting membership from other tribes, and those people, I guess, regretting their decision today. So all that kind of stuff is happening. But yeah, so again, the countdown for the 159th annual homecoming celebration, the oldest powwow in North America, is going to be coming up sooner than you think. And so, to turn the page a little bit, the Winnebago Indian News is also going to begin advertising and solicitation of sponsors for the upcoming graduations.
That's
the
right.
Winnebago Public School, Little Priest Tribal College, of course, Educare, and the other graduations in and around the community. We're going to be featuring those in the upcoming spreads, of course, as they happen. So that's going to probably be later in May and maybe even June. But the sponsorships are open for that. You'll have some graphic that's going to be put out for that, and you can always get a hold of Tyler, tyler.snake@winnebagotribe.com, if you want to be a sponsor for the graduation issues that are coming.
And okay, I still have mine. It's somewhere. It's probably in a bin and stuff. But when the Winnebago Indian News put my graduating class in there, and there was a sponsor on that, so it's very important that you know what I mean. Like we give the opportunity for the Winnebago entities to sponsor this opportunity, because I graduated in '99. Geez, what was that? 100 years ago. I had to talk for Miss Ashley. She teaches a class at Nebraska Indian Community College, and she brought me in as a special guest and stuff. So she said, talk about business and stuff, and I have a little small business, whatnot, things like that. All I did is talk about myself, but you have to know the person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just not gonna come in there and start barking orders and this is what you need to do in business and all that. You need to know the person. So I said, I thought I did all right, you know what I mean? But afterwards she was like, gee, all you did is talk about yourself. But I just said I graduated from Winnebago School in 1999, and I know I'm old, but and it was crazy because there was a lot of, I think there was some, what do they call them, dual credit?
Yeah.
Some high schoolers and stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness. But speaking of graduation, my son's going to graduate. You know, that's crazy.
Wow,
and then the
25.
twins are going to graduate next year and stuff. And that's crazy. So, wow. You know, I know that I might need some, techniques or some advice and stuff. I mean, like, is there tears? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, of course. Of course. And like I said, it goes by so fast. You wonder and you think back, of course, when your kids were really, really young, and it's like, bam, there it is. So
I put we did a little Facebook invite announcement and stuff, and I had a little picture of him when he was a kid, and I was just like, oh man, I'm just kind of tearing up trying to design that thing. Anyways,
Yeah.
But coming down to the home stretch, and I told this class that I said, you guys are down to probably about 30 days. Then you're going to be done with classes. You're going to be done with high school. You're going to be done with whatever it is. And they always say life is a series of being a freshman. So you think about it. You're a freshman in high school. You're a freshman in college. You're a freshman when you go into Educare. Yes. Things like that. You're a freshman when your first day at the job. And so that's pretty interesting. You're never too old to stop learning. Right. And that's our ability and
yes,
God-given ability that we have,
So a lot of stuff is going to be coming up, of course. Like we said, the graduation ceremonies, they are already scheduled, and you can go to the various websites for the high school, for the college, for Educare, etc., and they will have their calendars already out there. So definitely get them planned. And I do know that I believe some of them are on the same day. So those days are going to be crammed, because also I believe Wayne State College is also on a similar day. So there's going to be a lot of people pulled in a lot of different directions for graduations as they come forward.
That's another one is my brother Blue Saints here, Ho Chunk Renaissance. He announced that he's going to be graduating with his master's degree from Wayne State College, and it's May 10th.
Yes.
So Little Priest, Wayne State, and WPS, same day.
Yes.
I know that WPS always has theirs on Mother's Day, but I think they changed it this year. So mark that in your calendar, folks, for
Yes.
those that are listening.
Yeah, they're coming up.
Wow.
And you can always, again, you can go to their websites, you can see the dates, the calendars are official, and so the graduation will be coming. And again, our announcement of this is for the sponsorships that are available for the pictures that will be placed in the layouts and the spreads for the Winnebago Indian News print version and online.
Winnebago Indian News is doing some good stuff. If you have an opportunity, check it on out. It's interactive. Not only that, but the articles in there. And I know you did the ref.
Yes.
The ref thing, that was a good discussion. I put my 2 cents in there. And then you guys did the throwback old time Winnebago
Yes.
pictures and stuff that got 18,000 views.
Online, yes.
18,000 people. You know, I mean, so that's pretty
Huge,
cool.
Yes.
I guess.
I just want to say it's like, yeah. I think that is awesome. But as we kind of get creative in our design of outfits and stuff, you know what I mean? I was just like, I hope nobody steals these designs and stuff, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I thought that was pretty cool. It's like,
Yeah, it's a very individualized thing. There's some general, I guess, guidelines, especially when you're talking about actual whole chunk regalia and stuff. There's certain things that the men wear, there's certain things that the women wear and stuff like that. But the design of them, of course, can go in any direction. You see different patterns, of course, with the evolution of fabrics, all that kind of stuff. Again, going back to the storytellers, when Ruby was talking about how things were when she was a girl and as a child versus what she sees today, it's a lot of different stuff, and the evolution is continuously and constantly ongoing. Fashion is never completed.
Okay.
And it recycles?
Yeah, of course. Yes, indeed. Because you see it now, the men's woodland is very much in a resurgence right now.
Yeah,
very much in a
sure.
resurgence. So.
that is awesome.
Yeah, so-
You love to see that.
I
Historic,
do too.
you were there when that happened and stuff. We need a fashion show, guys.
No,
Put
we
that,
do,
throw
yes.
that out there somewhere in the radio world and stuff. I mean, somebody has a fashion show in the area, like, I know that they're doing some.
Yes.
And I haven't had an opportunity to check them out and stuff. But Fort Randall, I think they did one. Lincoln Indian Center, they did one down in Lincoln and stuff. And Sioux City did one, I want to say, but it was part there. We had like models or fashion designers in that show, but it wasn't just all natives. So that's good. That's good. I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to open up a can of worms, but we're talking about powwow. Gathering of Nations is coming up. And I don't know if you heard of that controversy and stuff.
I was actually just looking at one a few moments ago before
Yeah?
the show started. Yes, this lady posted that she will not be going for all these various reasons, and she had a pretty good argument. I have to say, I read her post. It was kind of long, but at the same time, I think I understood what she meant by it.
Yeah.
The commercialized environment essentially, basically ruining the whole reason for the gathering.
Okay, so here's my question and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Winnebago powwow charging. You know what I mean? And I think that the economics of it, of course, I think even doing that and stuff, trying to staff it, trying to get all the equipment for it, you're trying to charge people to come into the gate, to celebrate with our veterans and stuff. Very controversial, but at the same time, we didn't make the money back, if that makes sense and stuff. There's some powwows that will do it and they will donate it to like their sports clubs,
Sure.
which is kind of cool. So if they make anything at the gate, all that goes to their sports enthusiasts or maybe their culture club and stuff. But do you think it's fair that powwows charge admission? Yes or no?
I actually do, for a number of different reasons. The main one is to kind of do a little bit of crowd control, especially with a larger powwow like ours. Sometimes, there's like unruly kids and that type of stuff. And I don't want to stop the social interaction. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But somebody basically just coming out, dumping off their kids unsupervised.
Yeah.
You've seen various disasters, especially with regalia and that type of thing. So I think admission does serve a purpose, especially when you're talking about that kind of thing. Plus, at the same time, there are expenses related to that, such as electricity, and the other utilities. Somebody's got to pay for those. But at the same time, I don't think it should be some exorbitant thing either, because I've been to a powwow, a one-day powwow, where they wanted $20 a head, and we turned around and left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bethany?
I think so too as well. I think it's a good thing, more so just because, like, if it's not about the profit, at least it will offset some of the costs that go into, like, putting the powwow forward and just kind of help with their financials.
Yeah.
So just kind of keeping it so it helps the finances for the next year, maybe.
Right.
Like if they do make extra money or however that may go. But I think it's a good thing.
It's pretty interesting. The guy ended up doing this, for those that don't know about the Gathering of Nations controversy. At the end, when they're getting ready to open up the pay window and stuff, he gets out a mirror and he says, because there's a lot of comments online and there's everybody that's going to boycott Gathering and all this and that and stuff. And I think they run down like, oh, he's making profit, huge profit and stuff, you know. And he says, look in the mirror, look in the mirror. So almost, you know, like, I think that's what she was referring to when she posted that, is like she felt belittled, you know, like like almost like a lashing, or like this is supposed to be probably the wrong tactic, especially with natives and stuff, you know. But nonetheless, you know, if you're traveling to Gathering Nation or any powwow, make sure you travel safe. They are cultural gatherings. They are a family reunion. They are opportunity to make new friends. There are opportunity to see old friends.
Yeah.
And you just never know. And dancing is just like a different level of when you get out there and dance to a jamming song. Man, there's no feeling like that. I haven't felt like that ever.
Sure, and that's, you know, part of the breakdown, I guess, when you're having the argument, because like I said, we're going to hurt some feelings here and whatever else and stuff like that. But see, my perspective on that is, yes, there can be a quote-unquote cover charge at the gate for the various things. The lights don't come on for free. The water isn't pumped there for free and that kind of stuff. And I'm talking about the bare minimums. But the other side of that, I don't care about, oh, we had the highest payout money and all this. That's not why I go. Because the Winnebago Homecoming Celebration is a celebration of the veterans and a celebration of their tribe's culture. And it's been, you know, going on the longest in North America. And so that's the reason why I think that exists. Now, if you are going to have a straight out contest powwow, straight out come here for the exhibition, and then there truly is that nature of it is about the money, then it should be ran in that way. Now, I've never went to Gathering of Nations simply because I heard it was just the venues were too small and it became just quagmire of people that was really kind of miserable and you couldn't even watch and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, so if you're going to have that type of thing, it's got to be geared for that. And I haven't really seen that done successfully. I haven't. You know, they try to piggyback off of the traditional side and end up ruining the traditional side, because last year, you know, the Winnebago powwow was a good powwow and stuff, but I had a lot of feedback from people mad about the invited drum issue.
Oh yeah, that was pretty interesting.
And only invited drums, and because we had, you know, people from the Wisconsin tribe, you know, and all that stuff, as well as other relatives, you know, from the region, we can't come, you know. And it's like there were hurt feelings, there were a lot of, you know, negative reaction to that. And so is the Winnebago Homecoming Celebration going to be a contest powwow or a traditional celebration?
There's just ideas out there. Like, I'm on the Last Bear Moon Powwow Committee, and we did invite it, but we had to look at the agenda, and if we ran a contest, it needs to go 2 days.
Sure.
So the solution for that is to invite everybody and go 2 days. Unfortunately, because of Winnebago's constraints, they have bingo, and we'll talk about Winnebago's here momentarily too. But they have bingo the next day, they have bingo on Friday, so we had to get in there, like, we're literally setting up at midnight on Friday night to make sure that powwow goes over smoothly and stuff. So that's why we went invited. Now, and I think there's a powwow committee set for the homecoming celebration, and they're discussing some of those things. So if you have input, they do meet on a regular basis and stuff. Sure. And the powwow committee members appreciate all their effort, hard work. I know that I asked some people like that were on the powwow committee, and they come on the other side like, wow, that is a thankless job. So I want to thank those powwow committee members that are out there, because, you know, that's a huge undertaking. It's our kind of, I don't want to say prize jewel, but it's almost like our, how do you say it?
It's the premier event. It's the pinnacle of what the tribe does on a yearly basis.
Right.
It's powwow to powwow every year, you know.
So I think that if I had an opportunity to talk to the committee members, I would say, like, you know, there's a lot of people that care about it.
Yes.
And sometimes when they care about it, they come off in a mean, derogatory manner.
Get, like,
but
defensive.
Yeah, they get defensive and stuff. So keep up the good work, Power Committee members. You know, just my experience and stuff. Anything that we're gonna do, we always try to support the Power Committee by live streaming, whatever it can be, communication,
Yep.
PR, all that stuff.
And you guys talked about that, and we even ran the story on that. You know, of course, the Big Voice Radio set the streaming record in this past cycle as well, which was absolutely huge.
50 spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang,
over 50,000.
Six
Yes,
plus.
over 50,000.
Let's try to gain that up a little bit.
You know,
and
and
stuff.
that's what we're talking about in general. Not to cut you off on that, Garan, but it's like, you know, the amount of attention that the Winnebago Homecoming Celebration receives is immense. You know, the crowd in person is huge. Over 10,000 for the entire 4-day period. And now what you're showing, you know, plus 50,000 online. Holy cow.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. You want to grab our guests, and then we'll kind of go with there. Winnebago.
Yes, and so also, which is going to be coming up, Winnebago will be celebrating its 33rd anniversary later this month, and we got to nail down the date. Some people are saying, you know, the 30th. Some people are saying the 23rd. Some people are saying a different date and stuff like that. If I remember correctly, I want to say it was the 23rd, but I won't be quoted on that. But at the same time, the 33rd anniversary for Winnebago is coming up. So 33 years that casino has been supporting the Winnebago tribe, has been offering and creating opportunity for people to either get a job or even have their first job, and provide training opportunities to learn how to become a better manager, a better supervisor, and just work your way up and basically change your reality through hard work and diligence, because Winnebago has been doing it for 33 years. And then also with that, we are going to be beginning our next storyteller section with an individual who was one of those original employees who worked in the little trailers on the day that they opened them way back in April of 1992, Kelly Snow. And I remember it very clearly because there's photographs and, of course, you know, relatives and that kind of stuff. But I remember that because it was a very big thing. Winnebago changed the landscape for the Winnebago tribe, the Winnebago people. And it's really hard to imagine life without Winnebago. Everything that we have has Winnebago's either financial support behind it or something related to Winnebago. And I mean everything. There's nothing in the tribe that hasn't been touched by Winnebago in a good way. Some people, you know, want to say, we did this, we did that. No, you didn't. Winnebago is what allowed it to begin. And so, shout out to them. 33 years. Here's to 33 more.
All right. So we're going to try to see if we can get with the general manager and the crew over there. And we might even do a live remote. We did that last year. Got to talk to some of the employees, the GM and everything too. And they have some exciting events. I think there's a concert coming up and everything too. So maybe we can give away some tickets or whatnot and stuff. But they had a big bingo. I didn't hear anybody in the area that won the big prize and stuff. So
Either
it must,
that or they're just hiding out.
yeah, that could be true. That could be true. But nonetheless, Winnebago, more information as posted. And as always, Winnebago Indian News always features that ad in the last page. Full color ad, and it features their promotions. And I want to say, maybe it's going to be a question of the issue, but nonetheless.
It is not. But
okay.
It's coming.
We're going to get into our next guest. Thank you, Brian, for tuning in and joining us here. We'll go with the next crew.
We'll be back for the answer is.
There you go.
And the only clue I'm going to give you is pay attention.
Pay attention.
All right.
All right. So go ahead and have an opportunity to introduce our good folks here.
All right. So we're joined here by two of my favorite special guests. And so they're joining us to talk about an upcoming announcement, an annual event that they have, as well as some other upcoming events. And so we'll allow our Ho Chunk Village Farmers Market special guests to introduce themselves.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Tu Sharpback, Farmers Market Coordinator, and you can find me at Woodland Trails.
I got before Tony. I'm sorry, but I got lost. And Tu found me. Seriously.
Really?
You know where she found me at? Mystic Lake Casino.
Mystic Lake, of all places.
I found him at Mystic Lake before too.
I was all like looking around and stuff, and then here somebody's smiling, just like, "Hey!" I was like, "Oh, I'm lost."
I was like, of all people, I was like, of course they're ready to Garan.
And then we also have.
Tony Wood, CDFI Coordinator for Ho Chunk Community Capital.
Let's get into it, man. Tony, Tu, you guys are here today mainly to promote something that's going to be coming up towards the end of the month. Go ahead and let's talk about it.
We're doing the third annual Res Rummage, something we started a couple years ago. Just trying to establish some ecotourism events that are kind of focused around the farmers market. The first year was wonderful. It was kind of cold. We have pictures of that day. But, and last year it was, I think we kind of collided with some powwows or something like that. We didn't have as many as we wanted last year, but we're trying to coordinate it around the cleanup.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
So we always do
Yeah.
it kind of like, we try to do it like the week before, and then whatever you didn't sell, just leave on your curb, and if somebody wants to rummage through it, or at least then it's cleaned up out of your yard. So
There you go. That is awesome. So if we wanted to get registered for this, because I think you guys developed some maps.
Yep. We have a mapping system through Google. We just, as soon as somebody sends it in and they give us an address, we put it on there. We like to kind of be interactive with it, but it's just kind of things slow down a little bit. We'll probably have the final map probably 3 days before. We'll post it up on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And so any of the people that are coming into town, they can also stop at the farmers market. We'll have just hard copies for them. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Might I add something?
Yeah.
Last year we did a collaboration with you guys for the big screen as well, so we had some of those graphics letting them know about the raffle. I want to say we put the map up as well, and then those stops with the check-in points for those maps and stuff. So if we need to collaborate again and get some of those big screen graphics up, we could do that again.
Okay.
I guess let me back up here, because for those that we have a lot of people that tune in from outside Winnebago and everything too. So you're more than welcome. Does it cost, or is it going to be in a central location? What's a Res Rummage, I guess I should say?
Res Rummage. So we'll just have the locals within the community set up, typical Waruha style, however you and your families want to go about it. Like we said, we ask that you guys all give us your registered house and location, central point, so we have you on the map. And we're kind of using the pavilion area for our regular vendors,
okay.
so they can come set up like arts and crafts, if we have some food vendors over there. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, typical Waruha. The real point there is to go ahead and get with us so we can get you on the map, so they know, out of towners know where they're going.
Right. So other towns, they have what they call town rummage. This is called the Res Rummage. It's almost the same concept and everything too. So you bring in people in, and you have an opportunity to shed some of your belongings, whatever maybe you outgrew some stuff, or you got kids that are no longer able to fit their clothes or whatever. You could put that out, make some money, and then do you pay a fee to you guys or anything like that, or is it just?
No,
There is no fee.
Wow.
No fee.
Free
for
99.
register as a vendor. So, like I said, just come in, join the fun. A lot of money to be made that day.
So the key to this, guys, is marketing. You gotta share this information, and then you gotta share. If nobody signs up, it'd just be you guys selling banana bread, probably. You know what I mean? But the key to the success for this is to make it a event. And you talked about tourism, and it's very cool because in Native country, gaming is number one, and then tourism's right behind it and stuff. But here in Winnebago, we haven't really, almost grasped the concept. But you said ecotourism. Explain that.
Ecotourism is just basically establish some events and schedule things. I mean, obviously we do great with the powwow. We have a lot of people from Sioux City and probably the whole country that come to Winnebago. And so that's an awesome opportunity for the food vendors and everything. But with the farmers market, we want to establish more events, get people in, and just kind of broaden expand sales and stuff for people,
Yeah.
I was driving through Morningside, and this was the town rummage deal, and here they had it set up, and there was DJs and everything was going on, and here they had maps, and I was like, man, we got to do that in Winnebago. That would be awesome. And so that's how we kind of got started with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the marketing would be awesome. We kind of, the CDFI would love some collaborating partners, even the tribe.
Yeah.
I mean, we should have maybe ecotourism committee or something, because we should do something quarterly, to either get them either to Winnebago or in town here. I mean, obviously we did the art expo here back in August. We'd like to continue to do those kind of things, but we need some support from the community as well.
Yeah.
So
That's a good idea. Maybe an idea that is born here, but you probably had the idea and stuff like that. But if we can foster that, make a committee and stuff, because one of the things that I think would be really cool too is, and I didn't have this idea. I'm trying to remember who had the idea, but they have those runs, wilderness runs.
Yep.
And we have a beautiful wilderness area down there at the park, down by the river. Man, could you imagine like 600 people coming down there and paying $30 just to run? They do that and stuff. And the one that we have is the homecoming in the morning that Whirling Thunder has during the homecoming celebration and stuff. A lot of people, I interviewed a guy, and I want to say he was like maybe 70, and he's been coming down to Winnebago to do the run because he just loves it so much, and that's pretty cool. So, nonetheless.
Yeah, we put together a schedule of events last year, but we just didn't have the budget to do it. We actually wanted to do like even a fun run walk throughout Ho Chunk Village 2.0, thinking of even doing like a
Warrior run.
A warrior run.
Yeah.
I would walk, but all kinds of stuff. We had things that we wanted to do, but I said, it's got to have support from the community.
Yeah.
And obviously a budget and everything to kind of get those marketing. But yeah, I think we need to do that in Winnebago. I mean, like right now, the little tourism thing we're going to do with the land management going to all four corners of the reservation. It'd be great if, we establish something like that, like even a res cruise, whatever, like Brian says, his cruise, whatever, and then come back and everybody just have fun and
right.
I don't know, something, refreshments. So,
Okay, so is there a deadline to sign up if I want to be and get rid of my clothes and all this and that?
Yes, the deadline is April 21st, close of business.
Okay.
No extensions. We're going to be harsh with that deadline this year.
Okay.
No
All right.
more submissions day before, please.
Yeah, that probably
Puts a lot of stress on Tony.
understandably so.
So as we
lot
were
of-
talking, sorry again.
Good.
I had someone texting. They said, "Tell them to put us on the list."
Nice.
Good. We'll get you.
Okay, so that registration's coming up, and then it's going to be on a Saturday, right?
it's going to be Saturday.
What are the times?
I think we have 8 to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and we haven't gotten any donations yet for like raffle, but it'd be great if we if HCI or anybody else want to throw some things in. We're gonna have the raffle at the end of the day.
Okay.
That way, I think last year people were disappearing, and I'm trying to track them down. It wasn't a good time. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think having some raffle items out there would definitely bring the crowd, and
Yeah.
it'd be awesome. So.
I think
like
it's
it.
going to be a great event. Opportunity if you guys want to do food with your event. But I was going to tell a story about when we used to rummage. And of course, I didn't like it because on Saturdays we'd have to get up early. I wanted to watch cartoons, man, when I was a little kid, And the early bird gets the worm. So 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock or whatnot and stuff. But the information, are you posting the...
Yeah, I'm showing it.
We'll share it on our Facebook page and
Yes.
things like that. So if you have any questions, contact Tony or two. And you guys made an event page,
Yep.
so you can put it in that discussion. For those that don't have Facebook, how do they get a hold of you guys?
Either stop in the Woodland Trails or call the office 2192 in Winnebago. Yeah, we're always around. So
Very cool, man. I think it's going to be a great one. So this is the 3rd annual?
this is the 3rd annual, and we got more events coming down the line with
Yeah.
the baseball tournament. And we actually, there's something I want to talk to you about, maybe having something in Sioux City. So
Oh, cool.
so, yeah.
All right. And then Farmers Market's going to be booting up here,
Yep.
coming around the corner.
May 9th. Get ready, everybody.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what Farmers Market is it's you don't have to be a farmer, right?
No, you can be a regular vendor, arts, crafts, or food vendor, seller, but we are seeking produce vendors. So if you have a little small garden in town, think about coming to set up. We really need some of those produce vendors coming through.
Yeah. And like around this time, isn't mushrooms starting to... The
Oh,
avid
yeah.
mushroom
Yeah.
hunters are starting to come out of the woodwork. Let's go.
Pretty quick here.
Yeah.
For sure. That's always a good time.
Last thing I want to mention, we are putting on a small business grant right now. It's upwards of $500. You have to work with us to get your business plan taken care of. I think we have 10 awards for that right now.
Oh, cool.
And so we like to deploy that before farmers market, because then you have some kind of startup money to operate at the pavilion there. So
Yeah.
so-
If you need materials or whatever and stuff, make sure you guys application over there at HCCDC and the crew with how do you say it now? It's Ho Chunk Community Capital.
Yep.
So it's HCCC.
CCC.
Yeah, I got it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I want to recap. You guys had a youth event last Saturday. How'd that go?
It went pretty well. We had about 10 people. 10, 11? 12?
12. And so for those that didn't know what took place last Saturday, what was it?
It was Indigenous Youth Business Day. We collaborated with the Center for Rural Affairs and then Anthony Warrior with Indianpreneurship. And so we had a bunch of like native small business owners come in and kind of like detail their experiences, how they got started, and some drawbacks of it. And at the tail end of it, we had them work through a business plan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so we had 3 people that finished it. Center for Rural Affairs was giving out small business grants as well, but ours was tied to ag.
Yeah.
So that's why we still have some money available for that. So any
Okay.
youth that are wanting to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome opportunity. Great. It was a good collaboration. We plan on doing more. So
We
Awesome.
had kids from Santee, Walt Hill, Macy, Winnebago. Yeah, it was a nice little group there, hearing their ideas of what they had for businesses, hearing them talk amongst themselves. I think that was the highlight of my part.
Yeah.
Actually hearing them and with their plans and their goals. So it's just nice to see that they're on the right track of where they want to be.
That's good. Good job, guys. Appreciate you guys coming up. And then before this event happens, it's coming around the corner and stuff, but if you guys can give us an update and things like that, and we'll work with you and we'll help you guys promote this event. But for those listeners and those that are online, and if you guys can help us get registered, and then also if you can help spread the word, that's probably our best. They call it moccasin marketing and stuff, is this word to word and stuff. Call your friends, text them, Snapchat, whatever it may be, DM them, and let them know about the Res Rummage coming up your way 2025.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks a
too.
lot.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks,
guys.
too.
See you again. You guys don't want me to drop a couple bars?
Always, yeah.
No, I want to give a shout out to
Yes.
Oh,
my grandmas. I always got to give a shout out to all my kakas, all my aunties and my chewies. Let's see here. And the crew over at HCCDC. They're pretty great most days.
shout out, Tony.
shout out to all the future graduates.
Yeah.
My kids are going to graduate
Yeah.
and Winnebago, and then we have Jordana's from Little Priest this year too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's
Awesome.
awesome. So
For sure. And then I know everybody's asking and wondering this. You found me lost at Mystic Lake Casino and stuff, but they want to know. They text me this. Did you win?
Me? No, I maxed out and everything. They don't even give you free play.
I was kind of salty about that too.
Come on now. So
At least Vegas, they give you free play.
I suppose she just followed the jingle jangle of your coins.
yeah. We left kicking.
Spare change.
Good one, guys. Thank you guys for coming out.
I was cracking up when you're like, what'd you say, moccasin marketing?
Yeah.
I love it.
The old moccasin marketing trail, you
I
know.
like it. See you too. So, farmer's market right around the corner. Can you believe it's already going to be May pretty soon?
Okay, so I got to put my fillers out there. Has anybody found any mushrooms yet?
I don't think so. I
What?
don't know anybody that... I know somebody that went mushroom hunting recently, but I don't think they found anything.
All right. So if they did find something, they probably wouldn't even tell anybody.
True.
So you want to know my spot?
Yeah. Spill it. Nah.
No. We have to get some information about that because I know wildlife and parks. You know, I think they kind of patrol and make sure they ramp up. And I was talking to one of the conservation. You can't see it.
Conservation?
Yeah. Officers. Here's the thing that we want to PSA. Help us out with the trash, folks.
Yes.
You know, be thinking about it. You know, I know that you're down there maybe with your family and on this beautiful afternoon and maybe taking the dog down there, whatever it may be. But if you can help us out with the trash, I mean, that they just said there's a lot of trash down there, and then it's kind of that's not good.
No. And then it's even more crazy because there's like actually trash bins and trash areas located down there that you could conveniently go and throw your trash away, but people just choose to litter. So.
Yeah. So that's our PSA for today, guys. We're gonna get into our section here. I love this section, and you guys might want to kind of get closer to the monitor or get closer to or turn up your radio. Is the Did You Know section with DJ Bethani. I love this section. Did you know? So just to recap, if you never tuned into Winnebago Talks and never heard one of our Did You Knows, we have a few that I just want to that I learned here on the show. So we're learning as we go along. But did you know dolphins name each other? So they have names for each other, you know? So your dolphin name. And then what was some other ones? MCBKC, do you remember?
So
Yesterday was actually National Dolphin Day.
There was.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I seen a thing about dolphins, and it's like when one's injured. This isn't the Did You Know though. We're talking about dolphins, so it goes along with what we're talking about. But it was saying like when they're injured or if they get hurt, they just keep calling out for and they'll come find them and swim them to safety or.
Oh yeah,
like,
so they
they
help?
call out for help. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
or something.
Wow, that's I did not know that one and stuff. I wonder what it sounds like. Can you try it? No.
Then, of course, how it sounds very different underwater and stuff. And
Yeah.
speaking of dolphins, of course, then Dan Marino, the famous quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, reached the Super Bowl as a rookie, but never returned.
No, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't
No
even
idea
like
what it
Ace Ventura or something like that because of the kick or
yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah, that was Ray Finkel. Is that what it was? Finkel? Yeah.
Wow.
Laces out.
Yeah, that was my dad's favorite player. Was Miami
Well,
Dolphins.
and
I remember
he's a
that.
dynamic, phenomenal player, but it's kind of crazy that, wow, he never got back after his rookie season.
Pretty interesting.
It was when a dolphin is sick or injured, it cries of distress when other dolphins it cries of distress
Yeah.
to prompt other dolphins to assist, helping it to the surface to breathe.
Oh,
So I was trying to figure out what that.
probably sounds like. No.
I had a squirrel moment when you guys were talking about that just now. So like I don't know if when you were little and you'd go swimming. I remember when my choka had a pool. Like we always had a pool growing up. And so like I remember being little and we used to do like the hold your breath contest, like who could hold their breath the longest and stuff. But then I remember the first time that we discovered that you can hear underwater. And so we were like, you gotta hear what I said. Like we'll be talking and saying stuff and then look at what I say then and then like keep doing it and just
yeah.
go back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like the
That was
simple
the thing
joys
to do,
of
man.
childhood. Yes.
Yeah, water is like, I mean, kids go crazy over water, man. That's, I know my kids do. But here we go.
Okay.
All right, we
So-
are ready for today's Did You Know?
My Did You Know for today, April 15th, a snail can sleep for up to 3 years.
Wow.
And so some snails can indeed sleep for extended periods, sometimes up to 3 years. It's a survival mechanism allowing them to conserve energy and endure harsh conditions like extreme cold or heat. When they sleep, snails often seal themselves inside their shells with mucus, protecting them from predators and dehydration. And so the thing that I thought that was really funny is like, if the weather is unaccommodating, snails can sleep for 3 years straight. Depending on the geography, snails can turn into hibernation for winter or estivation called summer sleep to avoid dry climates. So if it's too hot out, they're like, I'm going to sleep.
Wow, there you go.
So my insect spirit is a snail. I like to sleep.
There you go. That's a good one. And no disrespect to the Snail Nation. We don't want them mad showing up at our house and stuff and canceling us or anything like that. But yeah, I always say it and I shouldn't say it and stuff. But man, you move at a snail's pace. You know what I mean? But snails are very interesting.
Yeah.
You think about them. You know what I mean? Like they're like from out of this world, right? They gotta be like they got the alien things
Yeah.
and
No real eyes.
they got no eyes.
Not that I'm aware of. I know, the feelers and stuff, but they don't actually see. It's, one of those things.
That's
Plus,
a
they
good did you know.
reside in the ground, I think, and stuff like that. Plus, and then you were talking about the weirdness, that one, it's not necessarily a meme, but an internet story that you can win $1 billion, and if you accept it, there is a snail that is continuously chasing you, and if it touches you, you die. But if you accept the $1 million, you accept the snail continuously following you for the
Gary.
entirety of your life, and if it touches you, then you die.
Oh man, I would probably wouldn't sleep, right? I mean,
Well, I just
Yeah.
moved to Hawaii.
yeah.
Taking
true.
some are really hot, some are really cold.
It's like come across the ocean there, Gary.
I know.
Yeah, it's like
Their nails, it says, their nails. Snails' eyes are on the tips of their tentacles.
okay.
Oh, that's see, they're
Well, I thought it was more like a feeler type thing. So
from out of this world. You know, I mean, but
no
I
expert.
wonder. Reverse it. Like, what do snails say about us? You see those things with the two arms and
Oh, they're
stuff, you know, and they got
terrified.
yeah, they're just. Then we got sound effects going on here. Okay, all right, we got to get going on to the next section here. So today's Did You Know? Snails can sleep for 3 years. Good one.
Yes.
All right, so who's leaving the building?
Real quick before we
Yep.
get into Did You Know, can I run through a couple
Sure,
announcements?
absolutely.
Yep,
So,
sure.
we do have a few things going on here in the community. First and foremost, I wanted to talk about the Ho Chunk Renaissance language classes, which they do have every Monday and every Wednesday. And so they're located up at the Ho Chunk Renaissance program classroom. So Mondays from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. you can join them for the language classes, as well as Wednesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So tomorrow they'll have their 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. class up at Ho Chunk Renaissance. If you want any information, you can give them a call at 402-878-4135, extension 2816. No sign up required, so you can just show up and show out. Nah.
All right, we got some people that posted. I just checked the Facebook, and they got some Did You Knows. That's pretty cool. And shout out to KT. She's up in tuning in
Heck
from
yeah, St. Paul,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I asked before we went on air. I said, "Who do we do this for? Like, are we, you know, like?" And that was a question. So I wanted to recap last week just to kind of back up even further. I was in Phoenix, Arizona for that self-governance conference.
Yep.
Beautiful. Learned a lot, all this and that and stuff. But one of the things that they had this Gila River Broadcasting Corporation, they had Cherokee Films, and they just said, well, who's your audience? And you answered it to the best and stuff, you know. But I think here in Winnebago, there are a lot of people that are very busy with their daily operations and stuff, you know. But there's a lot of people off the reservation that tune in.
Yeah.
And even on the Winnebago Indian News and stuff, there are a lot of people that love to get their Winnebago Indian News.
Yes.
And behind the scenes, we even had like a face adversity and stuff. We needed to get like the postage and stuff. So shout out to the finance team because we got made sure that that was sent on a timely manner.
Yes.
We
Yes.
publish on Saturday, but we have to get it designed and everything. So it actually gets all laid out and everything gets sent to the printers. They got to lay it down.
Yes.
They got to do their color corrections. Everything happens, and it's usually by Wednesday. So that's the cutoff time, and that comes out on Saturday.
Yep.
So it's very unique and stuff. But man, appreciate you guys for working so hard
Oh, yeah.
to get that. And our brothers and sisters behind the bars. You know what I mean? Let's not forget about them because we want to make sure that we get them the stories. And if you have somebody that a relative, maybe they moved or maybe they're going on vacation or anything like that, let us know. Tyler, she'll get that address inputted
Yes.
and changed.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
And then I have two more things lastly to mention is that they're doing the 13th annual Easter extravaganza. So that is
Yes.
going to be on the 18th, which is in 3 days. So 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Land of Wellness. Egg hunts are by age, so they have a breakdown of each of those time slots. This will be at the Land of Wellness. I said that. 13th annual, so there's 15,000 eggs, exotic animals, pony rides, bouncy houses, a petting zoo, and prizes.
Are they real eggs? Because that's gonna be gold. That's gonna be gold, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think because of the egg prices, Easter's canceled this year. But
No, I
obviously-
know. We loaded up on plastic eggs. So
The weather's supposed to be
recycling
great that
years,
day too.
yes.
So
So then also wanted to mention, I wasn't able to attend in like previous years. I did like a while back. They've been doing it for 13 years, but it's been a while since. But I've seen the pictures from last year, and it looks like such a good time. A lot of kids, a lot of smiling faces, and there's something for everybody. So if you're
Yeah.
able to check it out. That's with Winnebago Comprehensive Healthcare System and the Public Health Department.
yes, and
All
they
ages.
also do segregate the ages too, so
Yes.
you're not going to have a 7th grader competing against
No.
kindergartners.
Nope.
So.
That's cool.
And then lastly, oh, good.
Bouncy houses. I'm there.
Yep.
Exotic animals. Okay. All right.
I want to say, if I remember correctly, they had a llama I don't know if that's exotic, but
Can be, yeah.
a
It's
llama.
not something you see every day.
What's a llama name that you? Anyways, circus came by. Did you guys? Anybody check out the circus?
No. No.
Did you go?
No, I have not been to the circus in years.
No.
Man, it used to be so good.
Yeah.
But then I mean, this is like, man, I don't know if I want to go because they cancel circuses now and stuff, because of the animal
animals.
cruelty and everything too, But there's some talent there. There's some
Yeah.
talent, man. I mean, if you can get on your motorbike and risk your life in front of thousands of people and stuff,
Yes.
you have to practice that.
Like
You know what I
hanging
mean?
upside down, holding 4 people with your big toe. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's, to that very point, and
I'm
you're
just
saying
kidding.
that one of the most popular shows ever on the Las Vegas Strip is Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
My favorite one, of course, they have several different versions of it. There's a Cirque du Soleil called Alegria. It's on DVD video. I think portions of it are even on YouTube, so you can watch it in various places. That is probably, in my opinion, I've seen some of the other ones. None of them are terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, oh, that wasn't very good. They're all really, really good. The performances are just truly amazing. But Alegria, you got to see it.
Check
The
it out.
contortionist. Oh my God, you can't believe that girl is human.
Wow.
It's like Plastic Girl or something. It's like, seriously, man.
The one I'll advocate for is Michael Jackson's one. Put it on your bucket list, guys.
Okay.
Seriously. I mean, it rains in there. I mean, it snows in there, and he shows up. Michael Jackson's there. I mean, he's a hologram, but oh man, you talk about crying, and he's a kid. Oh man, it's just
Really? They go back to his childhood?
Oh man, I tell you what, from start to finish, the first time I seen it, because I seen it 4 times now. The first time I seen it, I didn't really get it, but there's some misfits that get into his like his glove and his shoes and all that stuff, and they're like almost try to take it, but the spirit of that is still in there, and it's pretty crazy. So if you have the opportunity, check that one out.
Heck yeah.
And then if you have an opportunity to see a Las Vegas show, you're gonna go see The Weeknd, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to see him in August.
Is he in residency or?
I sure hope so. I hope he'd do it sometime, but no.
But you're going to this concert, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Going to Florida.
oh, but the last time you went
I
to
went
his
to Las
concert was
Vegas.
at and you had the
What was
opportunity to see that
Allegiant, or what was it called again?
Allegiant
Allegiant. Yes.
yeah.
Stadium. I seen it built and everything, and they have a huge. And I want to say a native tribe, like even is like one of the presenting
I
sponsors.
believe so, yeah. I'm not sure which ones are there.
Have a pie or something like that. Anyways,
Yeah, there's.
When we were in there, it's so huge though, because like and you're like in a moment of like just all this high energy, and you kind of like take a moment and you soak it in, like, oh, this is really happening.
Yeah.
I was looking around and there was lights way up there. I was like, holy, because we were on the floor, so I was like, just
I never
thinking
been
of
to
that
that
many
stadium.
people in there.
That's on bucket list an item for me.
It's
And Las
nice.
Vegas is also going to be getting expansion teams, right? Is it the
Really?
NFL or NBA?
I want to
One
say
of them.
I thought it was baseball.
Oh, was it baseball?
I thought it was
I
baseball.
thought it was NFL. I thought they were getting a football team.
No, not Las Vegas, because they got the Raiders. But I think it's
yeah.
going to be the
NBA.
Athletics. The Oakland
Oakland
Athletics
A's are
were
moving
going to.
there?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's.
Well, yes, they are getting a baseball team because where the Tropicana was, that is going to be turned into that complex. So on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana Avenue.
That's cool. That's cool. There's some tribal members out there this week because of the dart tournament, and good luck to all the dart players that
nice.
are out there and stuff.
Yeah. And so last thing that I'll mention here is the upcoming spring community cleanup.
Yes.
And so that is April 29th, 30th, and May 1st. And so the dump site will be located on Mercer Street. Lunch will be provided for all volunteers at the Environmental Protection Department building. Important note is that they cannot accept any hazardous household waste products. So if you have any questions or want more information, you can call them at 402-878-4060.
I never really understood that. I was like, why is this trash? You know what I mean? But I seen a video, a reel or something like that. There was a garbage guy, and he was just doing his job, right? And he put that
oxygen tank.
Yeah, and it exploded, man. I'm like, that messed me up.
Yeah. Luckily, he was not hurt.
Right. But it's for, so please abide by those rules,
Yeah.
guys.
Yes.
And hazardous materials, oxygen tanks, whatever and stuff. You know what I mean? Make sure that
car batteries, some types of paint, then of course other hazardous things, chemicals. Definitely not medications. Those should be, if you have used medications, those should be returned to the pharmacy. They know how to dispose of them properly.
for sure.
Not pour them down the drain.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay. Here we go. Did you? Well, the answer is.
Yeah.
The answer B.
Did you
yes,
know
this
the
being
answer
melt.
is?
Okay, so who's going first?
I can go. You go ahead.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
do it up a little bit.
All right, so DJ Bethani will be exiting, and there are 5 questions. There are generally multiple choice, but the first one is pretty much a this or that, and you just have to get it right. And then, of course, you can announce it right out, or you can take a multiple choice. So, guaranteed, are you ready?
Let's do this. Did we do one last week?
Yes. Did we? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Okay. So, the answer B, this being Milt. Question number 1. There is argument in this for sure, but which is older, China or Egypt?
Oh, here we go. China or Egypt. That's a good one. We've got multiple choice now.
It's China or Egypt. That's I said this is the only one, so it's a this or that. And then the question again, there is argument in this for sure, but which is older, China or Egypt?
I will have to say China.
China? Okay, so you're going to go with that? All right.
Wait.
No, it's fine.
I'm
It's
backing
fine,
up. So are you talking about like the landmass that developed when Earth was born?
No, we're not, because then you would say
Oh.
Pangea, but it's like no. As far as what you would consider a centralized government and civilization.
Okay.
So,
I got you. So I'm gonna go with Egypt.
okay, so you're changing that?
Yes.
All right. Okay, then question number 2. A little bit of geared and might be skewed. DJ Guaranteed, you recently visited the great southwestern state of Arizona. Which of these is a nickname for that state? The Silver State, the Copper State, the Painted State, the Brass State.
Oh, that's
Which
a good one.
is a nickname for Arizona? The Silver State, the Copper State, the Painted State, the Brass State.
Man, it's either painted or brass, but I'll just go with painted.
That is letter C.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go with C. Just see what happens.
Okay. Question number 3 then. All throughout the year, meteor showers abound. Currently, which shower is raining down on us tonight?
Meteor showers.
Yep, all throughout the year.
I need multiple choice.
Okay. A, the Geminids. B, the Perseids. C, the Lyrids. D, the Orionids.
I'll go with C.
C, the Lyrids. Okay.
Put your headphones on.
Yeah, welcome into the fray, MC Eebs. And then question number 4. Talk about the stars aligning. Which of these divas becoming octogenarians is the eldest? Diana Ross, Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, Roberta Flack.
Go with Patti LaBelle.
That is letter C, okay? Then finally, question number 5, and there are tiebreakers if we need them. Gross, it's tax day. Ugh. What was the highest tax bracket? 39%, 49%, 67%, 91%. Which one was actually a legal tax bracket?
39%.
39%,
Yeah.
letter A. All right, DJ Bethani is ready to come back in. Yes, how you doing?
Good. Just came from the walk down to Lina Wells.
How was
that?
Hey, pretty good turnout. Great food. Subways.
Really?
You know,
And it's
and a cookie.
Okay. That's good. But is that the shirt that you have on there?
Yes, sir.
Child Abuse Awareness, April 2025. It has blue hands, and I think blue is known as the. I like the little.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, see something, say
girl,
something.
strap.
Nice.
Oh, I like the little icon on top. There's 2 little kids holding hands.
Cute.
Good job with the design there. All right, DJ
Little
Bethani.
aliens.
Before we get started, don't forget, if you or your relatives want to receive the Winnebago Indian news, by all means get a hold of Tyler, Tyler, Tyler.snake at WinnebagoTribe.com. If you've moved or they just don't have your address, she will get you updated and added. And at the same time, it's always a good idea to let Winnebago Tribal Enrollment know if you've moved as well. The Winnebago Tribe distributes things on occasion, and it's better if they know where you are and how to get a hold of you instead of waiting last minute.
So if I win, because I killed it, I slayed this one here. It's 5 for 5 and stuff. You know what I mean? Actually, I didn't. I was pretty. But if I win, Kevin's gonna buy me lunch. If you win, Kevin's gonna buy you lunch. All right, let's go.
One tap is A, two taps is B. I'd rather take you to lunch.
Kevin had no idea. All right, DJ Bethany, this is the only one with just 2. Question number 1. There is argument in this for sure, but which is older, China or Egypt?
China.
China? Okay.
Ooh, I said Egypt.
I would say
Karen
Egypt.
said Egypt, and it is actually Egypt by about only 1,000 years.
I did say China.
I just recently seen a video and it was talking about something being like over 5,000 years, or I don't know, something. It was talking about China though.
Yes, and the argument does contend though, because China is continuous while Egypt is not.
POTUS. I'm not gonna say his name and stuff. You know, I because I'm starting to lose opportunities to present some of our culture and stuff because of POTUS. But do you ever see? Yeah, he says China. Check it out next time. Anyways.
Okay, then question number 2, DJ Bethany. DJ Guaranteed recently visited the great southwestern state of Arizona. Which of these is a nickname for that state? The Copper State, the Silver State, the Copper State, the Painted State, or the Brass State? The Silver State, the Copper State, the Painted State, the Brass State.
The Copper State.
Letter B.
Oh,
Brass.
And that is correct. It is the Copper State.
What?
Yes.
the Copper State.
Yes, there is no Brass State as far as I know. And then the Painted State is something I made up, and the Silver State is its neighbor, Nevada.
I was gonna say my sister's from Arizona. My sister-in-law, my brother's wife. I'm
So
all about Arizona.
1-1.
No, I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
1-1. All right, on to question 3, and there is multiple choice, but if you know it, say it outright. All throughout the year, the meteor showers abound. Currently, which shower is raining down upon us tonight? Know it or multiple choice?
Multiple choice.
The Geminids, the Perseids, the Lyrids, the Orionids.
Wait, one more time.
The Geminids, the Perseids, the Lyrids, the Orionids.
The Orionids.
Letter D.
B.
Okay.
I said C.
And the answer is C. They're currently in the Lyrids, and so Garan did
Don't
get it
tell
right.
anybody. That was a
I
straight up
almost-
guess.
I
I did
was
not
almost
know.
gonna
What do you know
guess
about
that.
it?
Each one of these names is correct, and they typically are a denotation of where they're emanating from as far as in the rotation of the Earth around the Sun, and we are in the Lyrid section of the astronomical calendar.
Speaking of space, we'll talk about it after we're done.
Okay, but they are all valid. The Geminids are later, the Perseids are much later, and the Orionids happened before. So, okay, question number 4 then. Talk about the stars aligning. Which of these divas becoming octogenarians is the eldest? Diana Ross, Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, Roberta Flack.
Dang. Are we 2-1 right now?
Yes, Garan has 2, you have 1. Diana Ross, Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, Roberta Flack.
When that Jeopardy music.
I'm gonna say
Which of these divas becoming octogenarians is the eldest? Diana Ross, Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, Roberta Flack.
Roberta Flack.
Roberta Flack, that is letter D. And you are going to be technically correct, although Roberta was much older, becoming an octogenarian. This is what I said is turning 80. It is actually Diana Ross. But I was going to give it either way.
Oh.
So, because Diana Ross was born, or all of them, Diana, Gladys, and Patty were all born in 1944 in March, and 2 of them in May. Roberta Flack was born in 1937.
Oh, and she passed
What'd you
away.
say?
Who is Roberta Flack?
We'll have to play some
I
songs
was
for
gonna
you. You'll
start
totally
singing.
know who she is. She's not hidden, but that is
She-
going
she
to be
did
enough
that
for
one, Killing
time.
Me Softly, right?
Yes, the original Killing Me Softly. The closer
did
it
you
gets
say?
next to you.
I said LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle, yes. Patti LaBelle is
LaBelle.
middle, yes, the middle.
Oh, it said Gladys.
Gladys is the youngest of those. So, all right, then finally, question number 5. Gross. It's tax day. What
What's the score?
was
What's the score?
2-2?
Oh.
What was the highest tax bracket? So the highest legally authorized tax bracket.
So now, if you guys tie, you guys both got to buy me brunch.
39%, 49%, 67%, 91%. Which one was a legal tax bracket?
Okay,
The
so
highest one.
And you don't have the answer to it yet, right?
I don't.
He guessed, but
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, but he
What
didn't
was
say
it
right
again?
or wrong.
Say it again.
39%, 49%, 67%, 91%. Legally authorized by the Congress, which one was the highest recorded?
67.
That is letter C. And you were both incorrect. It was actually 91%.
Boy, that's all
Under
that.
FDR during World War II, the highest earners in the nation were basically urged to support the United States during the dire days of World War II. 91%.
Wow.
Yes. And of course, these were millionaires, so.
Like Carnegie.
Oh, whoever, yeah. So we're tied 2-2, so going to tiebreaker number 6. April is known for many things: taxes, Easter, springtime. What is its birthstone?
Oh, April.
So
Sapphire.
there's multiple choice if you need it.
Oh, okay.
Do you want it, or do you want to say it
Yeah.
outright?
Yeah.
Okay. Emerald, sapphire, diamond, citrine. Citrine is like a yellow stone, if you don't know.
I'll stay with Sapphire.
I'll go with citrine.
Citrine.
Citrus November. It's Scorpio.
Yes. And then it is actually diamond.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
The diamel. Yes. So-
Really? Is it really?
Yep.
Is it
There's
really?
the diamond. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ashley's born in
I
April.
think emerald is. I want
buy
to
her
say
diamond?
June.
No wonder why it's expensive.
Yes. And, yeah. Sapphire is. What did you say? September, I think.
Is it?
I think.
Oh, I don't know. I just like to call
Okay,
it.
so then this is just, there is no multiple choice, and who wants to go first with the answer?
Ladies first.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the evil orange clown was ordered by the Supreme Court to return a man wrongly deported. To which country was the man sent wrongly?
He was sent to. Where was it? It was like El Salvador or something like that.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
She got it.
Guaranteed?
Yeah, she got it.
You
It's
both saying it?
yeah, El Salvador.
And it is. It's El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yes.
I want to say El Salvador for drinking and driving is death.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. They're really strict.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those near banana republics. So that kind of stuff. So, all right. Tied 2-2.
Oh, let's go. A continuation next week.
It's
Yeah.
got to be that.
Is that
Didn't have another question?
that horn? You know, and
To be continued.
to be continued. I like
Yes,
it.
or you can say it outright. Which clan did we feature on this recent issue of the
Oh
Win?
man, that's a good one.
I was just looking at it.
Oh man, that's a good one. That is a good one. Wait, let me think. Let me
It's
think.
not pigeon.
Yeah, I know, because pigeon was last time.
Yes.
I know the colors.
And the
There's
most recent, yeah, it looks like Haskell.
yeah, purple and yellow.
It's a pie.
It didn't mean to look like that. Christina was designing it, and then it looked great, and then it came out on the printer. That looks like Haskell.
Man, what is it? What is it? Let's see here.
I'm going to say cha.
Oh man,
Cha.
what's Oh man, I'm gonna say warrior.
Okay.
I'm gonna say bear.
No, it was ThunderClan.
Ah.
In honor of the new year, the Thunder Kings awakening the earth. Remember?
Wakanja.
Yes, Wakanja. Yes.
Wakanja. Now you say it?
Okay.
Man, we're just
All right. So
Like, I thought
blurt
you
out.
had to-
All right. Get your vocal cords ready, guys. You got to just blurt out the answer. This will be the easy one, and hopefully You be the judge,
Okay.
Kevin. Okay, who says it first? What is the genus of mushrooms we hunt?
Fungus. I don't know.
What's its name?
Oh, morals.
Sure, I'll take it.
Morale, yeah.
Most people say morel, but morel.
I say
moral,
it like that,
so,
guys.
So it's
You
fungus.
have feel free to make fun of me. I got made fun of last
It
year.
is
and the year
actually a
before
fungus.
that.
You're both technically correct and genus, but yeah, so
Are we tied again?
it can be. But, so
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, we gotta get our shout outs out here, and then we gotta get off the air, guys. So we are going to go around the room. So we're gonna start with MC. How do you say it?
MC Eves.
But he's
that's
got
his own name. He named
MC
himself.
Eves. Go ahead, man. What you got for us? Shout outs. Put him on the spot. Okay.
I know.
DJ Bethani, let him think.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Ho Chunk Renaissance because they do have a lot of really awesome events going on, and I know that we touched on the language classes, but we were hoping to bring someone up to share their annual egg hunt. So if you are in the local area, and I don't think there's I know it's open to the public, so they'll have the language. What are they called? Clues on the big screen, and so it'll be in the Ho Chunk language. They're really encouraging everybody out there to translate, and it helps keep our language alive and practice and that good stuff like that. But they did say that you are able to stop up at Ho Chunk Renaissance if you need any additional help. They have resources up there as well, and so shout out to the whole staff of Ho Chunk Renaissance. Keep an eye out for the big screen. They do have their clues up there for their annual egg hunt with some good prizes this year.
Speaking of that, I think we gotta get that clue up if it's not up already. So they come out at noon.
Yeah.
So we gotta make sure we get that one up here. Day 3 of clues
Yeah.
and stuff is up here. MC Eves.
I think I'm gonna go with Silas Cleveland, because every time I go to an event, he points me out in the crowd and says I have a superpower. I know how to find free food,
There you go.
and he's not wrong.
Shout out to him. All right.
My shout out is going to be tied to, don't forget that the Winnebago Indian News has now begun the process of seeking sponsorships for the graduation layouts, which will be coming in the Winnebago Indian News print sections. And we'll probably do online versions of that as well. So sponsors, we're going to be knocking on your door. And then my shout out is going to be to all the students currently pushing through to the finals of their semester. You're not done, guys. Keep on going. Finish strong. You can do it.
Shout out to communications. You guys. I was out of the office last week on travel, South Governance and stuff, but we tried something new.
Yeah.
And I did a live remote down there.
Yeah, and it worked great.
Yeah. And so that was cool. You guys held the fort down, basically, and good job. Good job. So keep up the good work, everybody, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday right here for Winnebago Talks. You guys have a good rest of your day.